Hey everyone, and welcome to Mira Developer by Mira World. Today we're going to do something really cool. We're going to take a simple idea, just a thought, and turn it into a real working program using the Go programming language. It's the perfect way to see how software actually gets built, from concept to code.
So, this is the big question, right? How does that happen? It can honestly feel like some kind of magic, but I promise you it's not. It's all about logic and structure. And in this explainer, we're going to pull back that curtain and demystify the entire process step by step.
All right, so to make this real, what are we actually building? Our goal is a random password generator. A simple but super useful little command line tool. It's the perfect kind of project to really get a handle on the fundamentals.
And here it is. This is our target. This is the finish line. By the time we're done here, you'll know exactly what kind of thinking and what kind of code it takes to spit out a secure, random password just like this one. Seeing the end result first kind of makes the whole journey make more sense. Okay, and this is maybe the most important part. Before you write a single line of code, every good programmer stops and thinks. You have to create a logical blueprint, just a simple set of steps for the program to follow. It's all about planning before you start building. And here's our blueprint. It's really that simple. Look, first we just need a big pool of all the possible characters we can use. Then we need a way to just randomly pluck one character out of that pool. And finally, we just do that over and over again until our password is long enough. See? When you break it down like that, it's not so intimidating at all.
Okay, so we've got our blueprint. Now we need the materials and tools to actually build the thing. In programming, this just means understanding the basic building blocks of the language itself. So let's take a look at the core components Go gives us to work with.
So the most fundamental materials are called data types. All they do is tell the program what kind of information it's storing. Now, a really key thing about Go is that it's strongly typed. That sounds complicated, but all it means is Go forces you to be super clear about your data from the get-go. And honestly, this is amazing for beginners because it catches silly mistakes before your program even runs. It's this focus on reliability that makes Go so awesome for tools like this.
So these are the four core materials we'll be playing with. You've got string for text, int for whole numbers, float64 for numbers with decimals, and bool for a simple true or false. For our password generator, we're really going to lean heavily on strings and integers.
Now, here's a quick heads up, especially if you've seen other programming languages before. Go sometimes uses its own names for common ideas. For example, if you're used to a list of items, in Go, that's called a slice. If you're looking for what some languages call a dictionary, in Go, that's a map. The concepts are exactly the same, they just have a different name tag. So if data types are our materials, our wood and nails, then functions are our tools. There are hammers and saws. A function is just a self-contained block of code that does one specific job. The whole reason we use them is to keep our code clean, organized, and to stop us from writing the same thing over and over.
All right, we have the blueprint, we have our materials, we have our tools. It's time to put it all together. Let's see how these ideas actually look when we write them out as Go code.
Remember step 1 of our blueprint, defining the characters? Well, this is it. This is the code. We're just declaring a constant called charset, and it's just a big string, one of our core data types, that holds every single letter, number, and symbol we might want in our password. This is our character pool. Simple as that. And here are steps 2 and 3 in action. A for loop is just Go's way of saying, hey, do this thing over and over again. This line of code literally says repeat the steps inside here, length number of times. And it's inside this loop that we'll do all the magic of randomly picking a character and adding it to our password. Now, in every Go program you can actually run, there's a super special function called main. Think of it like the front door to a house. It's ground zero. When you tell the program to run, Go immediately looks for main and just starts doing whatever you told it to do inside. So here's the crucial idea. We could just jam all of our logic inside that main function, but it gets messy and fast. This is where the power of functions really shines. Look at the difference. On the left, it's a tangled mess of comments trying to explain what's happening. On the right, it's one clean, self-explanatory line. We took all that complexity and packaged it into a neat little tool called Generate Password. It's organized, it's readable, and it's how professionals do it. So, we've deconstructed the how. We've seen how the pieces fit together. Now, let's talk about what's next for you, because the absolute #1 best way to make these ideas stick is to get your hands dirty and start building your own little projects. And if you're not sure where to start, here are some ideas. You could try building a simple calculator. Or even better, take the password generator we just talked about and make it better. What if you let the user decide how long the password should be? Or what if you made a version that only generates number pins? Each tiny little feature you add is a huge learning opportunity.
And this right here, this is the most important takeaway of the entire explainer. Watching and reading is great, for sure, but the real deep learning happens when you actually apply these concepts. Building real things forces you to solve real problems, and that solidifies your knowledge like nothing else.
So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you're armed with this idea of blueprints and materials and tools, what small problem are you going to solve? What simple idea can you bring to life with a little bit of code?
Hey, if this breakdown was helpful and the dots started to connect for you, do me a favor and hit that like button. And I really want to know what you're thinking. Comment below with the first project you're planning to build. And of course, make sure you subscribe for more deep dives from Mira Developer. Thanks so much for watching, and happy building.